It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. Good start to the morning, man. I'm already getting ripped for my Thanksgiving dinner selection. You guys are hilarious. I'm already getting ripped for what not only the food I will eat and not eat at Thanksgiving, but the way that it's presented. Just picture me and my 5-year-old daughter at the kiddie table, and then they come by and cut up both of our meals. Here you go, Johnny. If you want a cookie afterwards, you better eat all your food. You guys are hilarious. You guys are hilarious. Yeah, well, I'm dressed like a pilgrim for the occasion. Yeah, here comes the airplane, Johnny. Eat the turkey and maybe you can have a cookie. There he goes. Welcome in. Welcome back. Yeah, sippy cup. How do you pour a Miller Lite in a sippy cup and then have the little straw on top? You guys, we are wet fries. No, think of what the concept of wet fries and saying it that way is an instant no-go. The best part about a French fry is the crisp. If you dump too much of anything on it, you don't get the crisp. You get mush. Who wants mush? Then you should just get mashed potatoes if you want mush potatoes. Can't understand it. Anyways. Yeah, what is a wet fry? Is that where you dump a bunch of crap on it? Anyways, here we are, people. It is the final Monday of the regular season. I can't believe it. It goes by so fast. We're already in the final Monday of this show of the regular season. And if you look at where Notre Dame's at, it couldn't be more exciting in a lot of ways. You have Notre Dame firmly in the middle of a playoff chase. And you have a quickly rising Heisman candidate on the team. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. Well, I guess it could. If you had 0 losses or 1 loss, I take that back. It could get better than this. If you had 0 or 1 losses, you would feel a lot better about where all this is at and everything for sure. But given what happened in the early part of the year, this is right where you want to be. You're in the last week of the year. You have 1 game left to play. You're in the playoff hunt, and you got a Heisman guy on your team. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So this is setting up to be a big, important week for Notre Dame. Listen, with these playoff rankings coming out tomorrow, there's nothing Notre Dame did to give this committee any reason to rethink anything about Notre Dame being in this field. Notre Dame gave no reason at all for anybody to even consider it. And here's what I find interesting. There are a few national people, when I look around and Google and look at the projections for the playoff, there's some people that think Notre Dame's blowout is going to make them go above Oklahoma in the rankings. I don't think so. I think they're going to give Oklahoma the credit for playing good defense, and it was kind of an ugly, lower scoring game. It was a ranked team, conference team, whatever. I think they're going to give them credit for that. But it is interesting. I've seen a few people have a mock draft and say, yeah, it was Syracuse, but Notre Dame was so impressive. They're going to move up above Oklahoma. So I don't think that's going to happen. It probably shouldn't happen because it is 3-7 Syracuse. And Oklahoma has a lot of ranked wins. Yeah, Texas, they have a lot of ranked wins. I don't expect that at all. I don't expect that at all. So you're firmly in position here. Now you have one game left, and then you got to see what else happens around the country. I would be shocked. Not shocked. Man, wouldn't you be surprised if there wasn't one more like upset looming, one more result Vegas isn't expecting out of all the games, all of the teams in this playoff periphery have left? Wouldn't you be surprised if everything went chalk and there was no surprises at all? I think that would surprise me a little bit. So I don't know, man. We'll have to see what happens. And then it's a matter of when I say like maybe there's still one more surprise, something unexpected that could happen. That could go Notre Dame's way, or it could complicate Notre Dame's life, depending on where it is. If Pitt beats Miami, that's one thing, right? What if Michigan beats Ohio State because Ohio State's banged up now and their best players may not play or they're not 100%, and Michigan's in Ohio State's head? What if that ends up being the upset nobody's expecting? What if that's the one? And then they have 2 losses, but a win over the number 1 team in the country, but 2 losses, and one of them to a team that beat the hell out of them, and then Notre Dame beat the hell out of them in USC. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's one more result in here that doesn't go the way Vegas thinks it. And if it involves this bracket, all it takes is one of these dominoes to move and the whole bracket shifts and everything moves again and everything reshuffles and who's getting in on the back end, right? So I don't know. It's very, very interesting. And I just, you're getting down to the wire. ND could get dropped. I don't know what to tell you. It's how would the committee handle a Michigan at 10-2 that beats the number 1 team, but then one of the teams that beat the hell out of Michigan, Notre Dame beat the hell out of? How far does that transitive property of wins and losses go? How far does it carry? So all I know is all Notre Dame, Always Irish Senior, good to see you. What a great time with the Always Irish gang. Yeah, that's the other thing, you guys. It means the world to me to know that I wasn't even there and all the Always Irish people found each other and had a good tailgate and a lot of them sat together and everybody partied and a bunch of people said it was the best game they've ever been to. Well, the hell with it. I just won't show up anymore. Like, if we're going to score 70 points and I don't need to be there and everybody has a great day, I'll never show up again. If that's what we're going to get, that's fine. Like, whatever. So, but it was great to see all the Always Irish people find each other. And I'm telling you, all of these people were total strangers not long ago. That is the wildest thing about it. All of these people that are now in this Always Irish friend group, they were all internet strangers, aside from Pat and Rudy, pretty much. Everybody else has been an internet stranger, and now we're all friends. It's amazing. So that was really, really good to see, and it warmed my heart, man. Everybody texts each other. Everybody's hanging out. It was a beautiful thing. I mean, I got to tell you, my mom was like, John, I don't want to be mean, but it was the most fun game we've ever been to. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll just stay home then. No problem. Tom, nice words from Tom there. Tim, a big thank you to you and Joe from the pictures from the grotto. Yep, we were happy to get that done, Tom. Happy to get that done. So here's where I want to start today, and then I'm going to get into some chats, and then we'll bring you guys up. I'm going to post the link. If you want to join. And so really all you could do is, let's hit this super chat from Dr. John. Dr. John, 10:04. Our 4 is a perfect 10. So brush up on your Beatles and sing along. Love, love me do. You know it is true. Ooh, and that love Heisman's due. I like that. Old school, baby. Some of the best concerts I've ever been live. Paul McCartney at 70-some years old at Wrigley Field and at Tinley Park at the amphitheater. Telling you, 70-something years old, and the guy played for 3 hours straight with no break. And the guy's in his mid-70s, and I got rappers that need a half-hour smoke break between sets that are in their 20s. And I've seen Paul McCartney out there running up and down the stage for 3 hours in a row. It was like watching a history book live. I don't know how else to describe it. Literally, it was like watching a history book live. And you could say I'm old or old school or whatever. The Eagles were the same way before Glenn Fry died. It was like watching a piece of history in front of you. I love that stuff, man. I love that stuff. You guys are hilarious. You guys are, Pat says, let's be honest. This is the truest thing of all time. To be fair, John's pretty miserable at games. Yes. Yeah, and I've never claimed not to be. I'm not enjoyable during a big game Notre Dame moment. That's why I don't go to bars. That's why I don't go to watch parties. That's why I'm not comfortable with a big group of people. I know I'm not fun in that moment, so just everybody needs to leave me alone. I am very self-aware, and I know I'm not fun for Notre Dame games. That is a serious thing for me. That's not social hour. That's a serious occurrence. It's not social time. Anyways, so that's just the way it is. And anybody saw me before the Indiana playoff game knows that was not a typical John Notre Dame tailgate. I was pacing around a nervous wreck all day with a weird look on my face, just pacing around, freezing my ass off in a parking lot. Notre Dame games are not social hour. That's what the rest of the year is for. It's more serious than that. All right, here's the thing. Notre Dame's got one game left. Okay, you got to go out here to Stanford. And I want to go off on something, but I want to ask this question first. Dr. John, thanks for the super chat. Here's the link in the description. Join us if you would like. Here's my question. And it's not a criticism yet, but it is a question. Who sets up what time window these football games are in? I want to know that. Who decides what time window the games are at? I don't want to cast accusations, but does anybody feel like the ACC is going out of their way to make it really, really hard for Notre Dame to get everything they want done, and they're sticking it to them any way they can? I'm just wondering. I want to know who sets this up. The TV and the home team university. Conference plays a part of it. The TV networks. I'm just saying, you got all this drama surrounding Notre Dame. You got one of their players in a Heisman hunt. Everybody's waiting to see if Notre Dame wins out or drops, and there's a free playoff spot. All this drama. And you put the game at 10:30 Eastern time. 10:30 Eastern time, where you're hoping Notre Dame's sleepy, I guess, and no one will see the game. And if Love runs for 280 yards, nobody sees it other than on the stat log the next morning when the country wakes up. How many people are going to actually watch the entirety of the Notre Dame-Stanford game other than Notre Dame fans and Miami fans? And maybe Michigan fans if they beat Ohio State earlier in the day. Like, I'm just asking, who sets this up? Because everything about it screams, make this as hard and as lame for Notre Dame as possible. Okay? And so I don't know who to be frustrated with it, but it just feels like we're going to make them play really late at night. We're not giving them a national showcase. We don't want Jeremiah Love running wild in front of the whole country for everybody to see in prime time in the last game in an Heisman hunt with Notre Dame chasing a playoff spot. It all comes off that way, but I don't know who to blame or who to be mad at for it. And here's the deal. Yeah, post-game show in your pajamas. I'm telling you this. People were like, John, are you going to do a post-game show? It's going to be like 1:32 in the morning. I'm going live. I don't care. If Notre Dame completes this 10-game winning streak, I'm going live. I don't care if it's 2 in the morning. And anybody that wants to drink a cold one and celebrate that 10-game win streak, stay up with me. Now, are we going to go 2 hours? Probably not. We're going to do an abbreviated show, celebrate a little bit, Bill O'Reilly style. F it, we'll do it live. What does this mean to play us out? I don't know what this means. F it, we'll do it live. Classic bit by Bill O'Reilly. And it really just shows you the difference between all these news people in real life and then once the camera comes on. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. I do need to add that to the soundboard. So we're going to go live after it. It's not going to be a 2-hour show. I got articles to write on a deadline but early Sunday morning. We'll do an abbreviated show. But if Notre Dame pulls off another miraculous winning streak like they did last year, we're going live and I'm going to celebrate with whoever's with me, whoever's up. Okay? So all I'm saying is it just seems like they're setting this up to minimize the moment for Notre Dame. And what that means is Notre Dame's going to have to create their own energy in this football game. It is going to be very late at night. There's going to be 15 people for Stanford there, and then pockets of Notre Dame fans. You're not going to have the energy you had for senior day. And by the way, I want to give the Notre Dame fans credit. We went into this and I said, I know it's a low-level opponent, but you're in a playoff hunt. I really hope the fans show up and get loud and proud and the team gives them a reason and all this stuff. That's exactly what happened. Really, really good, strong Notre Dame senior day crowd. And it just a full house, good weather, everybody ready to go. And you know what helps? It helps a lot when Notre Dame's up 21-0 in 2 minutes and the offense hasn't touched the ball yet. As far as the excitement level, I got to give the fans credit. And that's exactly what it should be, to honor these seniors. And Notre Dame's in the middle of a playoff chase. Beautiful. Matty B, good to see you, brother. It's all set up for the showcase. Yeah, Pat says it'll be a pro Notre Dame stadium. So, yeah, you got to go out there and you got to create your own excitement. Hey, Kent, remember when you told me you thought I was disrespecting Syracuse? Kent had me feeling bad last week. John, you're disrespecting Syracuse. Why are you talking about keeping them in single digits and how big the blowout's going to be? You need to show Syracuse some respect. Put some respect on my name like Birdman. That's what he said. Put some respect on my name. And then look what happened. They lost by 900 points. Kent was over there telling me, John, you're being dangerous disrespecting these guys. I'll tell you who you better not disrespect. It's Michigan, Kent. I want to know what the anxiety level's like over on that side. So you guys better take care of business against Ohio State. You complicate my damn life if you don't. Quite frankly, you let Michigan sneak in there with 2 losses. I don't need you messing up my life. So you guys better get serious about that. Yeah, WPP was on the show last night when we did the Sunday night Goolsby show. Yeah, a WPP made an appearance there. He's alive. Okay, let's get into this now. A couple super chats. Let's just do the bad part now. KVA's out, done for the year. Awful. I don't know what else to tell you guys. It is the worst case news you could possibly get in a playoff chase. It's one of your absolute best players, regardless of the side of the ball. You could say he's what, a top 2 to 3 player? Who would be above KVA and who's best on this Notre Dame team? Jeremiah Love, Leonard Moore, and KVA. Like, literally, you're losing one of your best players. It is just absolutely terrible to have it happen in a blowout win. It is one of the worst case scenarios. It's terrible. Now, Tim I did bring up a very good point. Made a very, very good point about this on the Goolsby show. He said the one thing in Notre Dame's favor on this is they rotate linebackers a lot. This is not a case where you got to start playing guys that are unfamiliar out there or haven't had a bunch of reps or whatever. It's a very good point by Tim Ide of the only thing you could do to soften the blow here is look at it that way, that you have guys that do have experience, that have made plays before, that are going to be out there. So I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. Do you do a Faramo, Sneed, Osbury? I don't know where you, if it's rundowns, you have the guy that's best, do that. And then if it's pass downs, you have somebody else out there. You're going to have to get creative on how you piece this together to make it work of who is best at what role, down and distance, what you think it's going to be. You're just going to have to mix and match a little bit. But this was the only negative really from this game, and it was a big one. It was a big one. Wine and cheese. John, saw your parents at the Dos Leps tailgate. They were excited to send you that video. Man, it was just a beautiful thing to see everybody all over. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing, you guys. So it was great to see. Let's get Renee. He said he wants to get in and out. I know he's working. Let's see if we could get him. Renee, what's up? You're muted. Muted.
There we go, Johnny.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Hey, hold on. Hey, there you go. Hey, just want to give a quick shout out, man, to Ryan Roll, Wine and Cheese, Nick Beat and his beautiful wife, man, Phil Hag, and his beautiful wife Erica, Sly Fox, man, and always our Irish mom, Dan and Senior, man. Hey, that was the greatest defensive performance within 5 minutes of college football history you've ever seen, man. I could die a happy man now. Now I gotta win national title first. We gotta win this national title first. But and I want to give a big shout out to, hey, it's crazy. Look, I'm at Legends. I'm at the food line, right? Because my homegirl, she's the GM there, and I look at the dude. Look at her like, what's up, man? And he goes, hey, you look like some dude I know, homie named Brandon Maddox. He goes, I am Brandon Maddox. Hey, Brandon Maddox won 2 state titles at my alma mater. He's at my daughter's alma mater, was patting themselves out at Notre Dame. Gonna bring them back to glory, man. So big shout out to Brandon Maddox, his wife, and his 2 kids, man. John, it was one of the greatest moments, man, of my life. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna tell the Craig. So I go down there. I'm telling her, hey man, can I get down there? Junior's my cousin, and I show him the picture of me and him at the Sun Bowl. I go, look, see, and they go, how come the family gets your pass? I go, I just got released like 2 weeks ago. He doesn't know I'm here. He doesn't know I'm here. And I go, look, this is me and this is me and my uncle and them right there. Look at the. I showed him the picture of me and my homeboys um at the Shamrock Series in Vegas. I go, look, that's me and my uncle right there, man. That's his mom's brother. They go, come on, man, come on, let's get you in. That's how I got down on the field with the players, bro. This criminology degree's got to work for something, Johnny.
It's very creative that you made that work, but I gotta say, man, I'm just happy you were able to be there for that. I'm happy everybody was able to be together. I'm so glad for you guys. You had a great day. I'm happy.
Yeah, Johnny, it was beautiful, man. And as far as moving forward, man, like I tell you that you speak to them players, you speak to the people there, man. Like Freeman's there for a long time, man, and we're gonna be getting those national titles here real soon, man. I mean, anything's possible, man, with what's going on. You know what I mean? J Love, man, he deserves that Heisman. And so, John, man, like that's all I want to say, hey, bro. And my biggest shout out, man, would be to you too, man. Like, bro, like, we love you, doggy. We love you. What you created from a guy yelling in his basement because you hate swamp ass, bro, to this, man. Like, hey, brother, recognize that God's ordained you, homie. You know what I mean? For something much bigger than this, doggy. And, you yelling in the basement like that, man, has really brought people together, homie. And praise God for your family, man, and always Irish Senior and always Irish Mother for producing you, brother, and for you and you, hey man, more than that too, your beautiful wife, dog, putting up with letting you do this, homie. That's a strong woman. Hey, buddy, I love you, man. I just want to say that, man. Here come the Irish, and then turn the Irish. You're the madness, John. The main madness. I love you guys. Onward, Notre Dame.
Have a good one, man. Be safe at work. Dude, I love that dude's energy. His energy is amazing. And I'm grateful that this is my little role in Notre Dame land, and I'm happy to fulfill it, make the connections between all you guys and everybody else. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let's keep it moving. We have some regulars here. You're going to be on the air. Let's do a couple of these chats. We'll go right back to it. $5 holler, Jake. This might be playing with fire, but we might want Michigan to beat Ohio State. They might jump Miami, but not us. Just a thought. Yeah, like, I don't know, man. You're playing with fire on some of this stuff of like, you could see something happening and then it better positions Notre Dame, but you could see other things happen that maybe put your position at risk. I don't know. All we could worry about is beating the hell out of Stanford. That's it. Nikki Dean, $10 holler. John wanted a 2 a.m. post game. He is the reason for the 10:30 game. Whatever. I'm going live, and I don't care if there's 15 people here that are awake, drinking beer and celebrating. I'm going live if Notre Dame completes this. 2 seasons in a row where Notre Dame must win out from early September, and they're on the precipice of doing it again. That is impressive, damn it. That is impressive. Tom Frawley, Chicago's very own. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Hey, John. Boy, I'd love to have Renee's energy. I could use a dose. Of whatever he's on today.
Life.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah. So last night, that was a great. I only caught part of the Goolsby and Hyde show, but I think the most important part, which was talking about the linebackers, right? And the substitutions, and there's a lot of what ifs. And one thing that I was surprised that they didn't touch on yet, it's all going to be predicated on who they actually face when they get to the playoffs. Is it a running team? Is it a passing team? Where's their strengths lie? So, it's going to boil down to that. But I got to go back. I was talking to Lee Gallagher this morning, and he reminded us all not to sleep on Stanford, because Andrew Luck, he's got that fairy dust out there. Anytime Notre Dame plays Stanford, I've been burnt twice before by Stanford, and I remember them wholeheartely. These were 2 of Lou Holtz's worst losses, the 90 loss and the 92 loss. And, both times they blew leads. Touchdown Tommy Verdell, Ed McCaffrey, John Lynch, and Bill Walsh. And then I remember a paper, it said, the real Irish beat the Fighting Irish today. That really stuck in my craw. So I don't take Stanford lightly. I don't care what their record is. They usually come up with a quarterback that the Notre Dame defense turns into a Heisman Trophy candidate, if you know what I mean. I don't know. They have a knack for playing very well. I'm talking about mediocre quarterbacks you hear of, right? So as long as they batten down the hatches, which I think what we saw against Syracuse is, was it the fact that they were that bad, or was Notre Dame still making plays? Well, I got to believe that they were it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Just the way that Stroman played. I mean, even, Goolsby and Hyde gave credit where credit is due. Now, can they replicate that Saturday? Look, we got to win Saturday night. That's it. There is no playoffs until we get the seed, right? So I think obviously they're not going to be able to stop the running attack. But it's what they do when they have the ball. And I believe that, I know that quarterback is tall, he's lanky, and he can throw. So we're going to have to be on our best. And the defense, are they going to play the straight 4-3 defense? These are the things that we want to know Saturday. But Andrew Luck is real smart. He knows how to beat Notre Dame, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But he hasn't faced this defense.
And Tom, you could argue, for the poor record, Stanford has improved a little bit as the course of the year has gone on. Syracuse has gone straight the other way. despite the poor record, Stanford has like improved their week to week quality of play a little bit. So there is that level of respect here. But as far as people saying Brian Cribbs, this has trap game written all over it, I don't think this can be a trap game where you have the playoff on the line. If you think you win it and you might be in, that can't be a trap to me when you have what's on the line, and everybody getting on that plane and flying to Palo Alto knows what's on the line. It can't be a trap game. If you win it, you're probably in the playoff. It cannot be a trap. It can't.
John, who said it was going to be a trap game?
There's a couple people in the chat that are
I got you.
You got to be aware. You got to be aware. And it can't be a trap when you have a potential playoff berth on the line. Everybody's got to be, come on.
No. And this is for all the marbles, right? And back again. So we're pushing toward other goals here. There's awards on the line. There's the playoffs on the line. There's recruits on the line. There's so much on the line for Notre Dame. And, like I said last night, we've got to embrace this. It very rarely comes along. And I just pray that we get out of there. We do what we need to do as far as the winning the game. Just win the game.
Yeah.
Style points, do they matter at this point? I don't think so. I mean, they proved everything they needed to prove last Saturday and against Pitt, right? And as far as the calculus of what is happening elsewhere, I think you're right, John, when you said there's still going to be something that pops up that, that's going to be interesting for the playoff committee. But as far as Stanford goes, I mean, yeah, you take your team, and it's Thanksgiving week, right? So these kids are locked in. They're not going home. There's no distractions. I actually like it that they're on the road this weekend out in the West Coast, and they get through this, and then there's a good 3 weeks of healing before they start practice again for whoever their opponent in the playoff is. So they can get well, and I'm so excited. This is such a great time of year.
Yeah, it's a great time of year, especially when Notre Dame's in a playoff hunt and a Heisman hunt overlapping. Tom, before I let you go, I want to ask this. And it was something being debated last night on the Goolsby show with Hyde and Mike.
Yeah.
Do you think that Love has a shot in this Heisman thing, or is it too late for him to get the credit that he deserves for how good he's being and overcome these quarterbacks that have just been on that Heisman list from pretty much the beginning of the year or whatever? Like, is there a real chance of him pulling this off? And I wonder, does his last shot to impress being at 2 a.m. affect any of that? How many of these Heisman voters are going to stay up and watch what Love does at 2 a.m? Like, I don't know. But man, the Heisman is still a big thing for Notre Dame because you want to have the most ever, and you don't want USC beating you for that or anything else. And it's been a long time since the Rocket got screwed. Like, we need another one.
Well, I'll tell you what, the promo, it used to be in the old days. Now I remember when obviously Tim Brown and the Rocket were up for theirs, right? And you had John Heisler and Roger Valdesari at Notre Dame. They were in charge of the promos, right? Yeah. And taking care of all the publicity because they weren't on national TV every game. Now, I saw McElroy do a podcast. By the way, I like McElroy. I don't care that he went to Alabama. I think he's fair. I think he's not he's nowhere near as biased as the other people. I've seen his comments are very complimentary toward him winning it. Somebody last night said Kirk Herbstreit said it. I know that Saban said it. So there's enough people out there to get it. Now, as far as the time, I just asked the question earlier. How many Notre Dame fans, the percentage of all Notre Dame fans, how many of them live in the Eastern time zone? 65% probably?
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
I mean, and I do know that was part of the ACC contract. That was part of the rationale that Swarbrick gave for signing up with the ACC. It was that a lot of Notre Dame alumni had moved into the Mid-Atlantic and Southern and the Southeastern states that encompass the ACC. So that was part of it. And I'm like, okay, so, I think our fans stay up. At least they're going to tune in for the first half, right? You and we're going to go to the bitter end. We'll be talking about that game and the ramifications until 4 a.m. and that's okay.
Yep. And I'm gonna have a smile on my face doing it. I don't care. Like I don't care. I'll be up late. If anybody wants to party, let's party. I'll be up.
Free, and that's the other thing. You can put it all together. The season goes by so fast, and here we are. It's just, oh man. So you got to embrace it. We'll take it to the wee hours of the morning and celebrate a victory. Now, my question is, when does the we have to wait till next weekend, right? For the seating committee to
I think doesn't it come the day after Saturday, the championship Saturday games, the conference championships, then I think the following afternoon on Sunday they announce it, right?
So it's going to be a long week after we beat Stanford. Thinking, okay, now this is the good vibe time for Notre Dame. Get our guy. No scandals. No kids going out doing what young men do when they've got free time. They've got a vision. I think they're all on the J Love train. I think they're on the national championship train for one. They're on the J Love train. They want to deliver for J Love. I really believe that, because I caught a smile when he broke his second touchdown. They showed a close-up of Jardarian Price on the sidelines when he got his third touchdown, and he had a smile from ear to ear. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the team camaraderie and how they're playing for each other, it's time for us to hang a national championship. And
I like it.
You know what I mean? The ambassadors of the game, and everything's going right. And hey, what though the odds, right? We got injuries. We got some pretty big injuries again. Well, that's football. So this is where the depth will come in. We'll find out where the depth is. I know Goolsby and Hyde they're not sold on the replacements on the defensive side of the ball, but I'm telling you, from what we see as fans, there's some athletic ability back there. These kids want to play, and they're ready to go.
Yeah. It's it's going to be exciting. But Notre Dame is in the last week of the season in a playoff hunt and in the Heisman hunt. It's a great spot to be. Tom, God bless you. I hope you're feeling strong. We'll see you on Raw tonight.
Hey, my brother. Take care. We'll see you.
Go Irish. Oh man, you guys are great. Let's keep it moving. Mark, what's going on? Welcome.
How's it going?
It's going well. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. What's going on, Mark?
Well, I want to remind to almost four years ago to the day when a certain somebody left in the middle of the night, thought the grass was greener, and that recruiting class just had their senior day. And we can argue the program is better off than it's been in like 30 years' time, I think. Freeman's top 5 and wins in that period of time, and on the cusp of back-to-back playoff appearances, and obviously the championship game appearance, and now with what might be a historic recruiting class. And I printed this out, but I ran out of ink. But that kind of tells a story about where we're at. All of this to say, shout out to that senior class. I believe if they win one more game, this class will tie for the most wins in program history.
Wow.
Which, says a lot. I know they play a few more games now, and then they're 5-1 record in postseason for what it's worth. So I think this class is kind of remarkable, and paired with Freeman's, kind of success legitimizing the program, I think is really bears repeating.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And it's easy to get lost in all of that when you're in the week to week grind and the stress of all this and you're looking at the immediate next thing. It's hard sometimes to call timeout and zoom out and look at where this program is and where it's going. The recruiting, you lose sight of it a little bit in the season, and then you realize 26 in a good spot, 27 in a good, like, this isn't a case where you're like Michigan was a couple years ago. We were like, this is our one shot. We have all this talent now. It's their last year. Everybody's going to the NFL. You got to get it now, or we know we're going to kind of drop back a little bit. This isn't like that, man. This program's still maturing. It's still getting better. It's still getting deeper, getting more talent, more athletes. It's a beautiful thing. So I don't know, Mark. I'm ready for this final game here. I don't care what time it is. I just go out there, beat the hell out of these guys, get in the clubhouse, and the chips are going to fall where they're going to fall, but you got to impress one more time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't call in and not mention the quarterback. And CJ Carr hasn't exactly lit it up, but nor has he needed to. He's been just fine. His passing efficiency is 169.8, which is a school record. I think he's the third most efficient quarterback. And then, Tim Hyde had a great tweet this morning. He said Mendoza, with all this Heisman hype, is averaging 240 yards per game. CJ Carr is at 231, both tied second nationally, yards per attempt. And the completion percentages and efficiency is all comparable. So careful who you listen to with some of this stuff.
So, okay, Mark, let me ask you this then. Is this a case where if you're on an undefeated team or a one-loss team, you get more hyped than if you lose your first two games? I firmly believe if Notre Dame was undefeated or had one loss, the Heisman Eye for Love would be at a totally different level. And I don't know whether that's fair or not. Like, you could argue he didn't bust loose against Miami, and maybe if he did, then it would have been different. But, it does feel to me the guys that are on undefeated or one-loss teams get more hype than what a Notre Dame guy gets on two-loss.
Yeah, there's some of that. And I think I think efficiency and some of those ratings are adjusted for who the opponent is, if I'm not mistaken. But it's still impressive. And then just because, last night and this morning, I'm seeing this Ari Wasserman and Clay Travis, all these guys that are relentless with this Notre Dame Miami stuff. I got a prop I'm going to hold up. I don't know if you can see, but it's got the comparisons between, Notre Dame and Miami. If you look at the resumes objectively with some of the stuff that the committee uses, the Sagarin strength of record, strength of schedule. I don't think there's.
What's the only one that you have Miami circled for? Head-to-head beating Notre Dame? Is that the only one that they have?
No, that's defense efficiency.
There you go. Okay, yeah. But man, and it's Mark. Don't you think it's kind of hard? If you made that big statement, you thought there was a gap between Notre Dame and Miami, and Notre Dame's playing good as ever or better than they were even then. And I don't see how Miami catches them. If you accounted for the head-to-head already and said there was a gap between the two, and Notre Dame's playing great, where does the gap close?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Head matter just because more time went by.
Because you were the better team August 31st doesn't mean you're the better team in December. A lot's happened between then and now, and then you needed a last-minute field goal to beat us at home in that game, so it's not like it was decisive anyways. And then this ACC BS where they're promoting Miami. Miami has won 0 ACC championships.
That's fantastic. I did not expect that on the back part of the board.
What are we doing?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, those are my main takeaways. I do got 3 upset picks for you Saturday.
Ooh.
I got Washington at home over Oregon, Texas at home over A&M. And if that happens, we're going to get Bama, Georgia, SEC championship game, same as it ever was. Pitt at home takes care of Miami, and then possibly makes it to the ACC championship game, which would be hilarious. So
Mark, let me ask you if this one's in your head at all. You do have Michigan, Ohio State. Everybody's watching that, obviously, for what that is. But the other one is, do you have any concerns about the mental state of Ole Miss going on the road in a rivalry game to finish their year with all this Lane Kiffin 1 foot out the door to LSU, but I want to coach in the last game, or the school wants him to coach in the last game to get into the playoff or whatever. The players don't want to play for him knowing he's got a foot out the door. I'm just wondering, in a rivalry game on the road, when you have a locker room that's in turmoil, I wonder about how that all plays out. That's on my mind. I don't know.
Yeah, or the opposite could be true. I think Ole Miss has that great running back, and Mississippi State stinks. So I don't see that game happening. But
yeah,
and I think Ohio State's going to blow Michigan out.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's they got a couple injuries. And then you start thinking about the last few years. Like, I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting. And so I don't know, man. I'm glad Notre Dame's where they are. They fought back. They're in great position now. At the end of the day, it's kind of what you always want. Notre Dame in a playoff hunt in the last game and having a Heisman contender. Like, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. You just wish you had a little more playoff comfort, right? That's the only thing, is a little more wiggle room and some of the injuries. But other than that, this is where you want to be.
Yeah, and I know Stanford looked tough on Saturday, but they're 4-7, and they beat Boston College by 10, Florida State by a touchdown, and then I think it was it San Jose State and just Cal. So like that's not to say they stink, but they're not world beaters. This should be not mentioned as a trap game.
Yeah, it's so I don't know, man. I wrote an article this morning going over the resolve of this program from week 2 last year all the way to the championship game, down and out this year after 2 games, fighting all the way back. It's a real compliment to the whole program, Freeman, the staff, the kids. Everyone's bought in. Nobody checked out. Everybody bought the message, and they just keep getting better and playing good football. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, I think, again, shout out to this class for kind of getting this program to where it is, and then and we're not done yet. So, yeah, between that, I think what they've done is remarkable. And then with the Heisman, if Love doesn't get invited, I'm protesting the Heisman from here on out, because it's a bunch of BS.
Yeah, it is. He is the most electric player in the country. It just shouldn't be a quarterback award. I'm sick of it being just a default quarterback award.
So I got some stats up here on my other screen. Second rushing by only 90 yards with 29 fewer carries, 7 1-point yards per carry, most yards from scrimmage in the country, first in total touchdowns. That's not even to mention the eyeball test, but the Heisman Trophy statement is the Heisman Trophy goes to the most outstanding player whose performance shows great ability combined with diligence, perseverance, and hard work. Come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
He's got at least beat to New York.
Yeah, and I was genuinely impressed. The 3 touchdown performance, 171 yards, doing it in 8 touches is the key to me. 8 touches. You want to talk about efficiency and just how dominant the guy is. 8 touches to get all of that action, and nobody barely touched him through it. So it's amazing, and I want to see. I just play this all out, have another good game, and then get him out of the game against Stanford, and then beat the hell out of this team. And then we did all you could do, and then you wait and see where the chips fall. But this is going to be an exciting weekend.
Yep, that's all I got. Shout out to the chat. Happy Thanksgiving. You see my dog passed out in the background.
Anything on the way out, Mark?
Nope. Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll see you on Raw, buddy. Thanks for joining. Oh, man. Michael, we're going to you if you're on old. Michael, under normal circumstances, Stanford's a trap. Freeman has a team in not normal mindset, but could be a weird first 15 minutes. I understand that. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. That kind of makes sense to me. Or maybe you got to wake up because it's such a late start. You got to crack that first sweat later. I don't know. But it does feel like Notre Dame's operating at a little bit of a different level. And I think they know what's on the line. They're focused. They know they're close, and there's no way they're slowing down now. That is the feeling I have, is that there's no way they slow down now when they did all this fighting back just to lay an egg and go to sleep in Palo Alto. I don't think so. Not so fast. Couple more chats back to your calls. Jake. John, what I'm worried about is Miami jumping Notre Dame. While ND's over them because they're not in the same pod, the chair of the committee said Head will carry large weight if they are. I don't understand that philosophy. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand that way of thinking. If you already said there was a gap between them and you baked in head-to-head in that decision, and Notre Dame's playing absolutely great, and Miami stepped it up a little, I don't see how the gap closed. There's nothing Notre Dame's done that would allow the gap to close. Just because Miami started not losing to unranked two ACC teams doesn't mean they close that gap. So it would be really weird to me, man. If they started this out saying Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head and we're honoring that, that's a different discussion we're having. That's not where we sit. If you already built in head-to-head and Notre Dame had a gap, Notre Dame's done nothing to allow that gap to close. And if you're going to say, well, what if the teams between Notre Dame and Miami lose and then they move up? Again, that has nothing to do with you closing the gap to Notre Dame. I understand the argument, same record, head-to-head, Miami should be at, but that's not what the committee said. If that's what the committee said to start, we're having a totally different discussion, but it's not. So unless they're going to totally how does the gap close? You shouldn't lose 2 games. Then it wouldn't have to be like this. $10 holler WPP. The nerve of the ACC making us play Stanford at night. It's not as though ND insisted that the ACC accept Stanford as a member. Whatever, dude. Nothing in my Notre Dame world revolves around anything about Stanford at all. So I respect the Harbaugh years and the when Luck was beating us and McCaffrey and all those guys and they had those monster tight ends and everything. I respect all that. But it feels like the ACC's out to get Notre Dame, one of their contractual partners. Justin, let me play the devil's advocate on this. We have another common opponent with Syracuse, too. Miami beat Syracuse 38-10. We'll see what happens with Pitt. Here's my comeback to that if I'm on the Miami side. Why do I need to compare common opponents when we played head-to-head? That's what they would say is, what are we doing here that we're comparing the outcomes of the common opponents but kind of ignoring when we played head-to-head? That's what they're going to say. And I do understand the argument. Like, even the most pro-Notre Dame people there are understand that argument. Why are we getting lost in the weeds of comparing all these other results when we had one head-to-head? I get it. But if you made the determination there was a gap between Notre Dame and Miami, I don't see anything that has minimized that gap. These magic pods, if they magically end up in the pod, then head-to-head matters more than it did before. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Ryan, good to see you. Good morning, buddy. Liam, what's up, buddy? You're muted.
I'm good. Sorry, John. How are you?
Good, man. I'm excited to get this week going. It's final one of the year already. I can't believe it, but here we are.
You know, John, the season went quick.
Yeah, it does.
I don't want to talk about politics too much, but Mark brought up an interesting comment. can we free Brian Kelly? Free my boy Brian Kelly, please.
Dude, you want to know what the funniest part of it all is? Free BK. The guy's never been more free in his life. He got $53 million to not work. You couldn't be more free. He's never been more free. They're paying him to not work.
I could only wish that I suffered that form of disenfranchisement once in my life.
That's as free as it gets. Pat says he's not getting it yet. The report that I heard is they are continuing to pay him $800K a month until this all gets figured out. He's getting paid. They're paying him his normal rate, which is 800 and something a month while this is all going on. The guy's getting paid.
I think what Pat means is that he hasn't gotten the lump sum. And in that case,
oh, I'm sorry. That 800 grand a month, does it go too far in Louisiana or what?
And to be honest with you, he's probably just saving money from it being taxed off the top. So maybe they're doing him a favor in the long run. You know, if they stretch out that $800,000 for whatever it would take.
Now, listen, I will say this, though. I will say this. I do totally understand what an awkward position it is for Brian Kelly's kid to be a player on that team. Like, on a human level, I understand that he wants to be one of the guys in the locker room as a player. That's very, very awkward. However, that is outweighed by the fact that that kid never has to work a day in his life and has generational family wealth and his kids and his kids and his kids too. Like, there's a price to pay to be the head coach's kid. Little embarrassing and uncomfortable now, but they have generational Kelly wealth. Nobody has to work again if they manage it right. So give me a break.
What they call it, champagne problems, right, John?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Those are crawfish problems down there. Yeah.
You're right about that. I did want to, do we have to be nervous at all about Stanford's band or any other band going on the field?
I don't know, man. And you know what else? Do you agree? I think there's going to be more Notre Dame fans there than Stanford fans because you're in a playoff chase. All the Notre Dame people out west are going to try and go, and they're all going to have their own section to sit there alone and stretch out. You know, like Rick James on Charlie's couch. Why don't I stretch out? Nice place. Like, you could just have your own section.
I think you're going to be surprised on the post-game show on Sunday morning with how much momentum Notre Dame has built. I think there's going to be plenty of Notre Dame fans up and watching the game. I am a little bit surprised, though, that the people who hate Notre Dame, they're not going to tune in based on the time. You would think that it would be a good opportunity to put them a little earlier so that people who are hoping they get knocked out of the playoffs could see it happen. Yeah.
I think Miami's going to pay close attention. Obviously, Notre Dame. I'm telling you, man, you know what one of the greatest delights of all time was for like 30 years, and it's kind of gone away. Notre Dame wins at some point Saturday, and you get that late window Pac-12 game in this window, and it's the last one on. And if it's teams that matter, like a USC or an Oregon or something, man, I used to love those games. Notre Dame won. You had it in your pocket. You're looking at the highlights on your phone, and you're going to bed half falling asleep watching a Pac-12 game at 1:30 in the morning. Oh, it's a beautiful fall tradition.
It kind of felt like Christmas Eve early, didn't it? It had that.
Oh, yeah.
It probably only where we won and someone else we needed to lose.
Yeah. Okay, Liam, let me ask. Notre Dame doesn't have to win 70-7, but don't you agree? You better win this thing by like 30. So you better make it comfortable, because the last thing you want to do is get into this last moment and give that committee any thought of maybe we need to rethink what Notre Dame did or look at this, whatever. You have one more big hurdle here. Play a really good game, and just Notre Dame is a much better team with something to play for. You need to win this game comfortably. You can't have one of these moments that makes everybody go, look at Notre Dame not performing good against a bad team. Did they got that in them for one more to hang it on somebody?
Well, I think Mark's visual shows you that it's not just about record anymore. Often it's about data points, right? So this and each game is not just one singular data point. It's multiple data points that combine into an outcome. So you want them to win. That's the first goal. You want them to win and look good. You want them to win by a lot. You want them to control the game, and also you want them to get out of there healthy.
Yep.
We have to avoid injuries. And I guess the other data point is we got to get those 131, 132 yards for Mr. Love. We have to make sure he goes out on top in the regular season.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of that makes for a delicate balance, right? You want to impress, you want to win by a lot. You already got burned by a huge injury last week that is just, you cannot understate what a big injury it is. There's no sugarcoating it. And Tim, I did as good of a job as anybody could when Mike asked him, how do you make up for this huge loss? And Tim said, at least we have guys that are in a rotation that are familiar with playing. And maybe you need to pick the downs now and have the run stuffing guy in there when we think they're running it. And on pass downs, you have somebody else in there like Madden Faremo, time to step up. Like you're going to have to get by, but it really sucks.
Yeah, the way that Tim was describing it, KVA is like a Swiss Army knife, and now you're going to have to like Frankenstein or zombie sew it all together.
Yeah.
And I think that you've got that, right? That's why you want that deep rotation, but the timing is terrible. And I feel even worse for the kid. The guy has been busting his hump at Notre Dame, and obviously this is a lifelong goal of his. It's just I want him to come back really strong next year, and I want the guys to play well for him.
Yeah, it's but man, this is it's such a big opportunity Notre Dame has here, and there is no trap. Like I refuse to believe that in this situation with everything on the line, everybody knows Love's in the Heisman race. That's on people's mind, and that's going well. And you're in this playoff hunt. There is no way this could be called a trap. If you are not fully engaged for this one, what could you be for? This is the final hump to an amazing 2-season comeback. Amazing. And there's no way it's a trap.
John, I think the guys are going to be ready to play. I have to run back to work right now, but I want to leave you with this. I can't remember a better 2-year stretch in my lifetime of Notre Dame being successful. So I can't imagine them tripping over this.
Yeah. Hey, get back to work, buddy. Thanks for calling. See ya. Man, sometimes it's easy to forget that people are at work during all this. Adam, you're coming up next. Beef Eater, $5 holler. Money for an AI dog whistle so Johnny can blow it the next time Mark with glasses calls in and we can see that dog move around. Oh, man. This is, whew. I thought maybe this week Kent would be all about the Michigan game or whatever, but he's real focused on Notre Dame's shortcomings, damn it. Don't let Ohio State's most important game of the year get in the way of trolling Notre Dame on a Monday morning. Kent, never change. Your consistency. You know what, Kent? You are as consistent as Notre Dame's field goal kicking. You're all the time, just like the way we miss them. You're here trolling us all the time without fail, baby. Adam, good morning.
Good morning, John. How are we, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. This is where, listen, you would like to have a little more playoff breathing room. But other than that, this is where you want every Notre Dame season to be on the last game in the playoff hunt and having a true Heisman contender. It's a beautiful Irish thing in the final week of the year. And I am thankful for that and all of you fine people in this ecosystem. How about that to start?
I couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more, especially the way that the season started, losing 2 games, back to back against our 2 toughest opponents. So all things considered, we should all be very thankful for where we are and what we're doing. And even with all the adversity that we're having to face as far as, injuries or, time of games being swapped around and, just the different things that happen throughout the season, we've overcome them all, and I don't foresee any issues going into the Stanford game as far as us handling business. I think that this team is locked in, and their mindset is that of where you need to handle our business in order to get into the playoffs to ruin everybody else's year. And that's basically what we're here for.
Yeah, it is. And there's 2 things that I look at and I wrote about this Saturday night, I believe. The days are all blending to me. About Notre Dame winning 70-7 and being able to go on the run they went last year after week 2 and the run they're on this year. It only happens if you have two key components. Number one is the proper mentality. The program's got to be at a certain level with their mentality and focus and belief level. And you got to have some dogs. And this roster has some dogs on it in a way Notre Dame hasn't had in the last 20-something years. And number two, you just have to have a lot of talent. You don't beat people 70-7 if you don't have a lot of talent. Notre Dame's entire roster it's the tide that rises all ships. The frontline players are better than we've had, and the second string are better than our usual second and third. The whole program, that talent influx is the tide that rises all ships, and it ain't going away. There's more on the way.
And where does that come from, John? That comes from the leadership. That comes from the culture that's being built. That comes from the people that are being put in place to basically guide and lead this team and this program. And the players will not come to Notre Dame with all the different expectations that are had in the classroom, outside of the classroom, how you uphold yourself, how you treat people. There's a lot of things that go into being a Notre Dame football player. It's not the same as going to like Florida State or whatever, where you can just do whatever it is you want as long as you play ball a certain way.
Yep.
You have to be a certain outstanding type of human being. And when you listen to the interviews that these kids have been a part of, and you get to know them, underneath the helmet, so to speak, it just makes you just appreciate it that much more, and you can see what Marcus Freeman and this staff has put together, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it really is impressive. They got a lot going their way. And the next thing is, Adam, you got to get this thing over the finish line. One of these playoff hunts, it can't be, next year we'll have less injuries and then we'll win the title. Like you're in a zone here where if you keep making the playoff, one of them you got to make go your way and get this damn thing over the hump. For the first time in the modern era, Notre Dame is a program that can compete at that level, not make the playoff and then hope the other team screws up 8 times so it's a close game because we know we don't have talent that can match up. This is a different Notre Dame program, and you should be in the sweet spot of the Freeman era here with the recruiting and the on-field meshing, and you're in a sweet spot. You got to figure out a way.
Yeah, I completely agree, because I'm right there with Goolsby. I'm right there with you on this. Like, as far as we were talking about how you watch someone like Jeremiah Love, and you have to appreciate it for what it is right here, right now, and especially the combination of him and Jadarian Price. And you see like those types of players on our roster that don't always happen. And we've talked about that. Appreciate that time. Appreciate the time that we are on these back-to-back seasons that are just absolutely incredible. But with all that being said, you got to cash it in. At some point, you just have to do it. And as incredible as everything's been, as magical as it seems, and as much fun as we've had with the success and the wins over Georgia, Penn State, and Indiana, and so forth, and going into this playoff, you just have to keep pushing and get to the end. You have to beat Ohio State, or you have to beat whoever it is that's in front of you, because you could very easily take a couple steps back. It doesn't take much for a program to slip a little bit. It just doesn't. And you don't want that to happen. You want that momentum. Remember, in the offseason, you and I talked about it. What is the number one thing that we need to keep moving and grooving on in the offseason? And that was momentum based off the last year's success. And here we are. So, could it be this year? It absolutely could be, because that's how magical seasons happen, is you put it all together. Do I think Jeremiah Love deserves a Heisman? 100%. Put him up against these other people, and you see the work ethic, and you see the success and the level of effectiveness. He deserves it. Does this team deserve to be in the playoffs and making a run? Completely. And therefore, we need to take advantage of that.
Yeah, Adam, once you get in, like, not the group of 5, but like, for a Notre Dame right now, once you get in, you can win it all. A part of me wonders if Notre Dame's going to get it over the hump and win a title under Freeman. A part of me wonders if it would come in a year where it doesn't feel like it and you're not getting the title hype and you lost your first 2 games and you have some issues. Like, you could sneak up on somebody. Once you get in, you just get hot, win a few games, you're right on the doorstep again, man. It's you just need to make it again for the program to show that consistency, year over year consistency, making the tournament. It's good for recruiting. It's stabilizing.
Yes.
It gives Freeman and the whole program a different level of credibility. So you got to get it over the hump. Do you have any worries about the Stanford game in particular? The late start, sparse crowd, like tricky Stanford at times, or do you think Notre Dame's just not going to allow it?
No, I do not have any reservations about the fact that we're going to go in there and we're going to handle our business. I believe that this team is, as we talked about, the mindset and the mentality, it's locked in. They are different than the teams in the years past, and there wasn't any shade on them, but it was more the fact that it just seemed culturally under the BK era, it was, and going into the beginning of Marcus Freeman's era, where we would run into the Marshalls or this or that or whatever. It just seems like we're growing out of that phase. We finally have kind of put that behind us, and this, to me, if they can do it in Palo Alto at 7:30 local time and handle it and just take care of it, that puts the nail in the coffin of those kind of sleepy games. And then you just have to have one full season of it where nothing like that happens, which, we're pretty much doing. So I think we're going to go in there. I don't necessarily predict 70-7 again or anything like that, but I do think that we win by double digits. I do think it's going to be pretty darn comfortable. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kenny Menchie in the towards the end or something to that degree. And I wouldn't mind seeing Aeneas Williams at the end there. And I think we're going to just be ready. I just think we're ready, regardless of the time. I think it could be midnight local time and this team would be ready.
Yep. It's I want to think that too. I think they know there's light at the end of the tunnel and they know there's one left. They're going to let it fly. Anything else, Adam? Thanks for joining me on a Monday morning.
Of course, buddy. I would say this, and I'm not sure if anybody else touched on it, but I heard you in the beginning asking about, who sets the times for these games. And the way I've understood it was that it is a contractual agreement between the conference and the network that's going to be putting it on. So in this case, it's the ACC and ESPN, and they have the rights to go ahead. The ESPN has a right to sit there and move the team, and then the conference has to sign off on it. So of course the ACC is like, yeah, go ahead. The thing that's interesting to me, though, is if you look at the other games that are being played, it's like SMU and Cal is at 4:30 or 5 or something. Like there's UCLA and USC, and they're playing at 4:30. Those are full West Coast teams. Why wouldn't you have a full West Coast, team game that start at 7:30 where all the California people could watch it because they don't care, if it's how late it goes. But something like Notre Dame and Stanford, you're going to put at 7:30. It does seem a little suspect as far as what was your angle here, conference?
Yeah.
I'm not understanding that.
Well,
but
whatever. It's going to
exactly.
be late, and we're going to win it. We need to go win it anyways. And people see the Jeremiah Love highlights there, running wild in front of a mostly empty stadium. Are you going to the game?
100%. I will be there, 50-yard line down below, and we're gonna, we're gonna be loud and proud as we always do.
Man, I'm excited for you to be there and have your own private cheering section, Adam. Have a good start to the week, buddy. Take care.
Take care, John. All right, buddy.
Have a good one. That is the best part. I don't like people and I don't like crowds. Going to the Stanford game away would be amazing for me. You could space out without a bunch of people all crowding in your space. It's the worst part about going to games. How do we get Notre Dame to get enough money to give everybody a seat? That's the other thing. Like, I they had the old wooden things, an 18-inch little plank. I got one of them behind me there, that number 4. I mean, what do we got to do to get an actual seat to where nobody could spill over into my spot? How about that? Somebody's going to have to donate a lot of money to get us to that point, I think. Oh, man. This is an issue, man. I know LSU has talent on their football team, but it's so messed up and they're playing so bad. Who did they play this week? Kennesaw State. They played somebody nobody's ever heard of, and they barely won that game. Like, I know LSU has raw talent on the team, but Kelly messed them up so much. I have no faith that they could beat Oklahoma. I hope for it, but you can't trust that. WPP. Good morning. Got to unmute yourself.
Hey, John, it's Pat from West Palm. Can you hear me?
Yep. Good morning.
Oh, hey, good morning, John. I hear that Marcus Freeman has started taking his morning strolls across the water of the lakes on campus. I mean, to hear look, John, you have to smile because you hear some of the callers, and they're smart people, some of them. But my word, you'd think that Freeman had cured cancer or something. I mean, you know what? But you know what? Good for Marcus Freeman to have built his brand, and he's able to bamboozle people. A lot of Shins, I said, he may be a good guy. I don't know. I just know that it's pretty over the top these days with people heaping praise on Marcus Freeman.
All right. Now let's start here. You got a coach that has this program in the best shape it's been in the last 30 years. And I don't think there's an argument against that on the field results and with the recruiting. Everybody likes the guy. What's the issue?
Well, the issue is that the basis for a lot of what's being said about him comes from the Notre Dame media. And that's the same media that suppressed the truth about Brian Kelly, suppressed the truth about Charlie Weiss. I mean, look.
Okay, now wait. This is interesting. This is juicy on a Monday morning. Now let me push back on that. You're right about what some of the media did with Kelly and that kind of thing. But the things that I just brought up in Freeman's favor are not media driven. They made the playoff. They made it to the championship. They won the big post-game games that we've been losing for 30 years or not making. The recruiting is objectively at a much higher level than it's been. Those are things that aren't media driven. Those are results that I could see. No,
they are. But is it any different than 2005, 2006? I mean, those years, Notre Dame's last year's team would not have qualified for the 4-team playoff, and it would not have. What happened to you, John? You get sick or something?
I'm just trying to process what you're saying. Like, I didn't expect this today, man. Do you disagree that Freeman has the program in the best spot it's been in 30 years on and off the field? Do you disagree with it? Or are you disagreeing with the level to which it's being celebrated? Those are different things.
I'm saying the 05-06 team matches up pretty well to the 24-25 teams. The difference is the 05 and 06 teams would have qualified for this 12-team playoff, right? I think they would have.
Man, but see.
But my point is, John, he may be a swell guy, right? But my point is, we don't know that because you can't trust the Notre Dame media. And I will say this, and it has to be said. The schedules we've played the last 2 years are some of the worst. They're the worst I've ever seen. But I'll give you this, John. He's had a nice 9-game run. Is it 10 games now? Whatever it is. Out of those 9 games, we've beat 8 chump teams and 1, halfway decent USC team. That to me doesn't impress me all that much. It just doesn't. But you know what? But to your point, John, look, Freeman had a very nice 4-game run starting about a year ago now, where he beat USC, Indiana, Georgia, and Penn State. That was the best 4-game run that I've seen Notre Dame have in 30 years. And so I give Freeman credit for that. But let's not anoint him the Messiah just yet, because he's beating up on depleted ACC teams and teams like Army and Navy. I mean, I think you got to tap the brakes on that. I think we've played two good teams, lost to both of them, played one pretty good team in USC. We beat them, so that's good. But the other games are against garbage teams this year. That doesn't really impress me. But none of this is why I was calling in. But if you want to keep talking about it, I'm happy to keep talking about it. I'm just not impressed yet.
You dropped a bomb first thing in the morning, and then you're like, that's not even why I called.
Well, no, I was just commenting on how over the top it is about how Marcus Freeman, cured cancer and he saved some orphans. And holy cow, guys, really? I mean, look, my attitude is head football coaches at the college level are politicians, and I don't trust politicians. And some politicians are more skilled at portraying themselves in a favorable light than others, but they're all politicians. And so I'm suspicious of all of them. The on-field results, he had a very nice run last year. I'd like to see it again this year or next year. But look, he's doing, what you need to do against these crappy teams, right?
Yeah, I'll say this, man. The talent level in this program from 05, 06 to now is night and day. It's like a 98% increase in overall talent and depth on the Notre Dame program.
I would agree that the depth is better. I'm not sure that the starting 11 is better, but I think that you're right that the depth is better. You're right about that. And I think that's a function that Notre Dame's paying the big bucks nowadays, and that's
So,
but anyway.
what does he have to do to fully earn that credibility that you think he's getting artificially or too much? Is it literally win the championship and then you will bow at the altar and record a video of him floating across the lakes of South Bend?
No, because I always thought, I don't want to use the term rebuilding year, but this was not a year, where you're starting a new quarterback where I expected a championship. But if he wins 2 playoff games, I'd be very impressed. Impressed.
Okay, so moving forward, what did you want to talk about if that wasn't it?
Oh, real quick, I don't want to be that guy that, pretends to have sources and all this other stuff. And, when it comes to Notre Dame football, I have no sources at all, right? But when it comes to the University of Miami, I actually do have a source, right? This is the person that invited me to this, what I thought was a dinner, ended up being a cocktail party back in August, where the athletic directors and the athletic department put something on. Anyway, I have a source at the University of Miami that it's a friend of my wife. Anyway, I don't want to tell you who it is. It's this elderly lady who used to work at the athletic department in Miami for like decades. Mm-hmm. And she was like a grandmother type figure to a lot of the former players. I'm sure Notre Dame has its equivalent of that. Anyway, this lady's retired. She's now a neighbor of mine. She's friends with my wife. Anyway, she's a huge Canes fan and gets us access to certain events, if we wanted to go. It's a long way of saying I have a source in the Canes program. And apparently on Friday night, the ACC had a call with Miami. This is last Friday night, and told Miami that you're not making the playoff. That the ACC has spoken to the playoff committee members, and they've been told that they don't see a path for Miami making the playoff. So, I called in on Friday morning, I guess it is, talking about the head-to-head stuff. But now it's all moot. It's over. Miami's not making it.
So does that tell you that there's just not a lot of respect for the ACC, and they're going to feel obligated to give the spot to whoever wins that championship, and it isn't going to be in Miami probably, and so there's just not a lot of belief in the ACC? It's a one-team league?
Pretty much, and the ACC is basically trying to calm Miami down and said, look, we did everything we could. We've run these ad campaigns, blah, 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 but, we've been told it's just not going to happen. We're sorry. And look, Miami's hopping mad. They're mad as hell. Yeah. But it's a done deal. Miami's not making it.
Man, I hope your elderly neighbor with Miami connections is right. I'll take it as a source.
Yeah, no, this is a very biased person, and she wouldn't be saying that if, she thought it was true. It wasn't true, but yeah. So there's no point in even worrying about it anymore. I don't think. And now I don't know if we'll host. I'm not going to get into where we're going to be seated, but I don't think we'll be cut out.
Yeah, it was it is man, that's interesting, and we're gonna see. Do you have any concern about going out there and playing Stanford? Or do you just think it's another bad team Notre Dame's gonna get credit for beating? What do you think?
No, it's a depleted ACC team that will whip them by halftime. Pitt might be the best of the ACC, and we toyed with them. Now there's an exception. I think Miami's a good team. I think Miami has a good starting lineup, and Miami lacks talent. I'm sorry, lacks depth. Miami's a very good team, but Miami's not going to make the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter. But Pitt is probably the second best team in the ACC, and Notre Dame kind of just manhandled them. So no, Stanford's not going to be in that game. And by the way, I wanted to mention something. Did you watch the first interception, the pick six, that Notre Dame scored against Syracuse?
I did.
Did you watch that play again? The Syracuse receiver, he might have been a tight end, but he's a white
totally
kid.
Stops.
Didn't even run after the guy.
Yeah, I noticed it. He literally stopped dead in his tracks and didn't move an inch.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I saw it.
They quit that game before it started.
Yeah, they're all messed up, man. They're all sorts of messed up. And I feel bad for the Filardi kid. His family was behind mine at the game, and they were really nice, and they were all excited to see the kid play. It didn't go well.
No, it was a total mismatch. And next year when we play ACC teams, it'll be another mismatch because the ACC is dying. They can't pay the NIL, and that's the end of that. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, John, thanks for taking my call.
Oh, no problem, buddy. No problem. I'm sure we'll see you on Raw tonight and on the Patreon chat. See ya.
Man, be good.
Have a good one. Man, I'm telling you what. I just didn't expect that to go where it went, man. I didn't expect it to go where it went. I'm telling you this, though. That guy has a knack for moving the needle. He pisses people off every time that he joins. It's beautiful for a show like this because he always moves the needle. It's never boring. It's never boring. Schwinger, welcome.
Good morning, John. Thanks for taking my call. Can you hear me okay?
It's a little rough. I hear traffic or something. There we go. What's up?
Three things, if I may.
Sure.
I gotta turn off my. First of all, Pat from West Palm. Everybody complains about Pat all the time, but I'll tell you what, he does serve a very useful purpose in this Always Irish family by keeping us grounded.
Yeah, I could get with that. And you need some of that from within your own camp, right? Like where it's somebody that likes Notre Dame and he went to Notre Dame, but he's not all like, I get what you're saying. Yeah, to balance things out within the fan base.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that he does that. I mean, honestly, we have been playing fairly weak teams for the past 5 or 6 games. I'm happy that we're winning. I'm happy that we stomped on Syracuse. But yeah, Pat brings up good points. And I will stick up for him, in spite of the fact that he verbally assaulted me yesterday on the Patreon chat. But that's okay. He might have been having a bad day.
Join the club.
Anyways, I don't really have too much to add. I do think our kicking game has gotten better. I do remember we had issues last year around this time. Those seem to work themselves out, and I'm hoping that will be the case again this season and getting into the playoffs.
Do we know if there's any hope of Burnett getting healthy for the playoffs if you have a few weeks in between games? What is the status of that?
I have no idea. I was hoping that he had some inside sources for that, or maybe.
I don't know.
Anyways, that's all I got. I'll hop off here, let the other people on. Appreciate the show, and go Irish.
Go Irish. Thanks for joining, buddy. Drive safe. You guys, it makes me kind of nervous when people call when they're driving. It just does, because they're trying to like get the camera right or whatever. Like, I don't want anybody to wipe out because they're calling this silly show when they're driving to work or whatever. It makes me nervous. I want people to pay attention on the road. Oh, man. Yeah, always Irish GTA. Oh, man. Oh, you guys are a riot. $5 holler from Craig. I hope Pitt beats Miami to shut this stuff up. Can you even imagine the fallout from all the lobbying that the ACC has done and all the Miami media and fans have done? All of this, Notre Dame sucks. We're better than them. We're better than them. All of that stuff they've been doing for weeks now, going on months. And if they lose to Pitt, then you just have no leg to stand on. It all works out. They're out. They have nothing to complain about. It would be absolutely amazing. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus would come early. YouTube it. Happy Thanksgiving, always Irish Nation. Yeah, I got to give that guy credit. He kind of called in to stick up for WPP a little bit. I do understand, though, what he's saying. If you're a Notre Dame fan and you're in the Notre Dame ecosystem, you don't respond well to people outside of that ecosystem trying to knock you down because you question their motives. It does hit different when it's a Notre Dame grad. He's on Patreon. He's here every day. He's invested in Notre Dame being good. He was here all summer talking about Miami and everything. It does hit a little different when it's a guy on the inside criticizing you, trying to balance things out or maintain perspective. There is a place for that, even though it drives everybody crazy, right? Even though it drives everybody crazy. So I don't know, you guys. It's interesting. It's really interesting. Okay, we got to do this, man, because it is Thanksgiving, and I do see people asking the question. So we're going to do this. Describe your Thanksgiving plate. It's exactly what you guys would imagine. Couple hunks of turkey, which is an overrated. First off, Thanksgiving is an overrated meal in Americana. I much prefer like St. Patrick's Day traditional fare. I believe Thanksgiving dinner is a little overrated. I just think turkey's a boring meat. Even for me, turkey's a little boring, dry and salty, whatever. Here's all I eat. Couple hunks of turkey, mashed potatoes, bread, and corn. That's as wild as I get. That's it. And then for dessert, whatever. I'm not a big pumpkin pie guy. Any pies with chunks of anything, and I'm not doing any of that. Can a brother just get some cookies or something? I don't need any of this chunks in my pie. Man. Apple pie with chunks of apple in it. Don't be trying to trick me and call dessert when you got fruit in it. I'm not falling for it. Calling something a dessert and then I got to dig through chunks of fruit. Not a dessert. But that's my meal. Couple hunks of turkey, mashed potatoes, the bread, just a regular roll with butter on it and some corn. There you go. That's all I need. Just fill me up. I got to say this. More Americans should take heed to what I'm going to say, by the way. Look around next time you're in public. Take a look around. Spin around and look, and you'll realize what I'm saying. I eat to live. Other people live to eat. There is a big difference. I eat because I have to. And that's the only reason why. Otherwise, it's nothing more than an inconvenience. And it eats up all your time. Okay? You should eat to live, not live to eat. Yes, sons. You got to do the spin-a-rooney in public. And you know what I'm glad about that spin-a-rooney thing, man? I'm just so glad Love does the spin-a-roonies and I get to tweet spin-a-rooney special. Anytime I can say spin-a-rooney, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. So I'm just saying, you guys, I just eat because I have to, and it's an inconvenience. It's nothing. I've never looked forward to eating. There's never been a moment in my life I've looked forward to eating. Eating is an inconvenience that is forced upon you. All right? It's a time waster. It's not meant to be enjoyed. You just fuel up and you keep it moving. What about ice cream, John? I like the basics. Give me a little cookies and cream. I'm down with the a good chocolate ice cream with the peanut butter in it. I will do that. But I just, it's Pat, this is a fair argument by me. This is a fair argument. John criticized me once for putting salt in my soup before I tasted it. How do you even know you need the salt if you didn't even taste it yet? Could have been sufficiently salty. Anyways, so I'm a plain eater. I'm going to fill up on Thanksgiving, but it's all the basics. I don't even know what. What is that raspberry jam? Whatever that gelatin-looking thing is it cranberry? Whatever that is, it ends up at the table every Thanksgiving. I don't know what it is. It looks like some haunted Jell-O is what that. It's a log of maroon. It is literally a log of maroon, and it looks like haunted Jell-O. I don't know what that is, but I'm not touching it. The other thing is, I'm not really down with what is it? The bread, the stuffing, the breadcrumbs that is all up in the cavity of the turkey and it's sitting there and then it comes out. Nah, that's a little too much for me. That's a little too much for me. It's like you cram it up in that turkey and then you eat it. I don't like that. I'm going to tell you I'm going to give you, we'll end with this. I'm going to give you a Thanksgiving low light and a Thanksgiving highlight. Thanksgiving low light. 4th grade head-on collision going to Thanksgiving dinner. Sideways, the car's on fire in the ditch. Everybody's knocked out. I think my whole family's dead. We all go to the hospital. My aunt never recovered. She dies not long later. Everybody's messed up forever. Bad Thanksgiving. I didn't get no turkey, man. Bad Thanksgiving. I'll never forget it. 4th grade. It was terrible. We were listening to the Beatles sing Christmas songs. I'll never forget it on cassette in 4th grade, driving to Chicago for Thanksgiving, and some dude hung over from the night before. Head on, baby. We're in the ditch sideways. Everybody got to climb out of the car, wave people down. Unbelievable. That's a low light. I'll never forget it. That was when my last brain cell got knocked out of my head. I'm convinced. Bam. That's the downside. Here's the positive. Here's the most fun thing. I mean this. After we do the turkey thing, we throw the turkey carcass over the fence and then you watch the animals eat it all night. I'm telling you, it's the highlight of the meal. You throw that carcass over the fence and you look at what animals come. We got a farm behind my parents' place, field and nature and all that. And you throw it back there and you see what goes out there to eat it. Are you going to get some scavenger raccoons that drag it off? You're going to get something a little more juicy. Maybe the coyotes come. Ow! I don't know. But that's always fun for me. So whatever, give me a break. I eat a lot of the basic. Cats choke on the turkey bones. Well, if I had some cats, I'd feed them all a turkey bone then. Don't trust cats. Cats are not to be trusted. All they do is scheme. You cannot trust a cat. You can't. Never trust a cat. A chupacabra. You could get one of those. Maybe I'll get a cryptid back there eating. Maybe a Bigfoot will come out of the woods and grab that turkey and start eating it. Johnny can make some news. I don't know. Oh, I love this show. I love this show. All right, you guys, that's going to be it. I got a bunch of stuff to do. The rest of this week's going to be interesting. I got a skinwalker. Yeah, that's what I look like when Notre Dame lost 2 games. And I lost all the muscle and the weight I put on all summer working on. I literally looked like a skinwalker right when we lost the game. Instantly lost like 17 pounds in a 2-week stretch. Killed all my momentum to gain weight and muscle because we couldn't win those 2 stupid-ass games. $5 Aller. Notre Dame when Syracuse throws the ball. Mine. Damn straight, mine. Damn straight. All right, you guys, I got to get out of here. Commander, you joined too late. Right when I said I got to go, you joined. Do it on Wednesday. We'll get you on. We'll see what the rest of the week's going to look like. I may have family stuff going on Friday morning, so I'm going to have to get back to you guys on whether I could do the Friday show or not. Maybe not. Holiday weekend, I got family stuff going on. We'll get to the schedule later in the week. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Commander, you come up first on Wednesday. See you guys.